Out here, I think thank you to Ohio State for hosting this great event. We're excited about that. Congrats to all the teams that made it. We're excited for a great competition.
We'll switch over to Cameron and Cooper, just kind of opening statements on being here in Columbus and one of 8 teams with a chance to win it all.
I think we're greatly optimistic for this opportunity. Obviously our last 2 games were not as good as we thought they were going to be, and we felt like we failed ourselves and our community and our family. So we're blessed to be out here, and we can't wait to compete and show everyone that we're back-to-back champs for a reason.
So yeah, just super excited to be here. Just a great event at Ohio State. Just super happy. We're all ready to come here and win. So.
Turn it over for questions.
Coach Vangelopes here from Off the Block. Obviously, the conference tournament didn't go the way you wanted. Your players alluded to that a little bit. What was your message to your team after that tough loss to Pepperdine, and then just kind of the mentality of your team these 2 weeks preparing for the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think it's trust our process, trust each other, and play one-point volleyball. I mean, that's what we're trying to accomplish. And for us to go back, the loss, yes, we had to learn from it and go in the practice team and work hard. And I think just kind of figure out how we're going to start keeping playing together, in those tough moments. So for us, it's the last couple of weeks have been great. We've had trying to get guys healthy, dialed in, connected. A lot of positives. We're excited to be here.
Yeah. And Coach, forgive me, I didn't ask to start off with, so apologies on that. But just general housekeeping, looking at your team, any injury updates since your last played, or any changes to your starting lineup?
Lineup's the same as it's been, and guys are ready to go. I think with just certain things, guys are dinged up. I think a lot of people a lot of teams are in that same situation. So guys will be ready if they're called on for sure.
Question for both the players. You look at this season and how it's gone. What do you feel has been one of the biggest challenges this season, just coming in as the 2-time defending national champions and trying to complete the three-peat?
Obviously the target's going to be on our back. No one's three-peated in the past decade and a half, so we knew that everyone was going to want to beat us. And some games we just didn't get it together. We just didn't play UCLA volleyball, but we're really optimistic for this tournament, and we can't wait to play.
Yeah, that's more of a question for Cooper, because I wasn't here for those 2 championships. But yeah, every team that we play is going to come out and play their best volleyball because they want to beat the best. So.
Well, Cameron, I do want to ask you about being at UCLA first year. What have you enjoyed the most about just being in the gym with these guys and Coach Hawks?
Honestly, it's just like we're like a big family, honestly. Everyone here just has the best intentions and they want to see the best for you. And it's just been really nice. Like everyone has the same goal in mind.
Coach, looking at this match, Belmont Abbey, a team that you haven't faced before, but you've seen some footage on them. What stands out for you watching the film of this team?
They play with a lot of energy, and they have some guys that can go out there and play. And I think that it's some good arms. They do some good things. So it's for us about, we're focusing a lot on our side of the net, but obviously what they do, there's some challenges there. With the pins, they have 2 good pins, they have big middle. They are well coached, you can tell that, and they play real hard. So that's my first initial comments.
And then for the players, what's your takeaways from kind of seeing some of the footage of Belmont Abbey?
I think they're pretty scrappy. We were watching film, and they love to talk under the net. So we're definitely going to do our best to avoid that on Thursday. But they're scrappy. They play hard, and they got fire. They want to win. They have nothing to lose. So why not?
Yeah, I know most of those guys because they're all basically from Florida. So they're a bunch of scrappy guys that work hard, and they have that dog mindset. It's like a lot of guys from Florida do, but it's going to be a fun game. Going to come out and compete and stay on our side of the net, like Cooper said.
I want to ask for both the players, talking about UCLA and the expectations. It's funny sometimes you're a 20-win team, having a great season, but it's almost like any losses, oh my gosh, hit the panic button on belief. How as players do you handle that, especially when online everyone has comments on what you can do better? It's amazing, how the thoughts.
I mean, I think that's a good problem to have. I don't think we've ever hit the panic button on a loss, but I mean, the expectation is very high for us. We've always had that at our program, and we have 21 national championships for a reason. You know, we've historically done it, and we continue to do it, so we always have that target.
Yeah, Cooper kind of made it perfect, but it's my first time in my career where if we lose, it's a big deal. I've kind of been on the other side trying to beat the better team, so yeah, it's kind of more fun. Everyone's going to try their best against us.
And then, Coach, want to ask for you. You've been in these before as an assistant coach, but first time as a head coach. What's been the biggest thing that you learned as an assistant coach that's helped you prepare as a head coach for this time in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think just being around John Sproul is one of the best, and I've absorbed a lot. You know, I've worked with Knife and I've worked with a lot of guys, and I think you can take a lot from them. But I think just these moments is like thinking forward and preparing and being dialed in with details, and and just thinking of all the possible little scenarios. I remember the first time we went, and the comments in these where our players were like, "Hey, we're just happy to be here. We're not just happy to be here. We're here to win it." So I think having that mentality is something I learned, and it was fun the first time in 2006, and you know what? It's not fun to lose, and we're not here to do that. We're here to get 3 matches.
I want to transition a little bit away from the game. Cameron, Cooper, both of you are wearing shirts right now that say Save GCU men's volleyball. Obviously, the big news last week was Grand Canyon cutting their program. So just want to give you an opportunity to kind of talk about your thoughts on the decision, and just, you know, what you think can be done for not only this program but men's volleyball as a whole. And Cameron, I'll start with you because I know that Grand Canyon, you know something about the program a little bit.
Thing or two, yeah. We're just here to show our support to those guys, man. Just praying for them. It was a hard time and kind of got blindsided by it, and just trying to put the word out there, not to let the flame die, that we're still going supporting them, and hopefully they can bring the program back and give these guys another chance.
I mean, I'm here to support Cam and the rest of the GCU guys. I mean, obviously I like beating them, but we want them to stay. It's bad for the sport of volleyball and Arizona volleyball in a whole. You know, those kids grow up and they look up to the GCU program because it's the best in their state. You know, so overall it's just bad for the sport, and we're doing our best to support those guys.
And then, Coach, I just want to ask you, kind of looking at the bigger picture of the game, you see a program like Grand Canyon get cut. How are you concerned at all that, you know, this could be the start of more programs being cut?
Yeah, I hope not. I think that's everybody's fear. But yeah, I think just back to the GCU, it's just surprising. You know, it's the most successful program in the department, and the growth of men's volleyball across the country is astronomical. And I think that just surprising that they would do it, and not understanding why. And I think it's short-sighted, and it's a bummer. You know, it's a great program with a lot of great tradition, a lot of new tradition, right? You know, and I think that the recent success they had it's really surprising. You know, so we're here supporting Cam, supporting those guys, and those coaches are friends of mine, and Matt Worley's a great friend of mine. I'm just saddened by that decision.
And then, Cam, I want to ask you, because you spent time at GCU, just thinking about that program. Can you just talk about how much that program has grown and improved, even just in your couple of years that you were there when you all were making runs?
Yeah, it's improved so much. My first year there, it was our first time making the tournament, and we gave Long Beach a shot at their money. We lost in 4, but it was history, honestly. We made our first time there, and then last year, another historic performance, made it to the Final Four, 1 set away from a national championship, and it's just sad, like they said, that such an improving program, top National League program, and the whole school is just getting cut. It just makes me a little emotional sometimes.
Well, fellas, I'll try to end on a little bit of a lighter note here. Obviously, there's lots to talk about UCLA serving, so we got to drill down on this. Who on the coaching staff is the best server in practice?
Nick Vogle. He actually has a pretty nasty. He like put some side spin on it. So if he's serving in area 1, it's going to go to 5, but tail to your left when you're passing. So I would definitely say Nick Vogle has a pretty nasty serve.
You haven't seen my serve.
I haven't. You look at pop on it.
Well, I also had surgery on my hand, so like they haven't seen my serve. It's
Okay.
coming back.
Okay.
It's coming back.
Can't wait.
BT has an underrated
BT.
serve. He
I
has
think
an
I've ever
underrated
seen him serve.
float serve.
That's good.
All right. And then final question, I had my 7-year-old daughter come up with some questions. So coming from the junior reporter, she wants to know, what was your favorite movie when you were in the 1st grade or early elementary school?
I think Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars. I grew up with a 6 movie set, cassette tapes, and I would watch those like every single week, all through the 6. So episode 3.
You can answer that too if you want.
Well, we have to go back a long ways.
First grade is real fun.
You know what? It's funny you brought up the Star Wars, and I'm thinking maybe it was Jaws or it was I don't know. Yeah, it must have been a the original Star Wars. Maybe I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Crazy. How old were you in 1st grade?
Like 7.
7.
I think like Batman came out at that time, like The Dark Knight or something like that.
I feel so old right now with these.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I think Batman. Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Good.
Yeah.